It never makes no sense. It never makes no sense. Fire, 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 light up, you light up. Fire, fire, fire. Armageddon is a deadly day. Armageddon is a deadly way. They're coming for you every day, while senators on a holiday. The army recruiters in the parking lot, hustling the kids, they're juggling pot. Listen, young man, listen to my plan. Gonna make you money, gonna make you a man. Bam, bam. Here's what you get: an M16 and a Kevlar vest. You might come home with one less leg, but this thing will surely keep a bullet at your chest. So come on, sign up, come on. This one's nothing like Vietnam, except for the bullets, except for the bombs, except for the youth that's gone. So we keep it on till you're coming home. Higher and higher, fire, 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 light up, you light up, fire, fire, fire. So we keep it on till you're coming home. Higher and higher, fire, 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 light up, you light up, fire, fire, fire. Yeah.
Welcome to Climate Breakdown, Intersections of Activism and Academia. We are your hosts, Asia Mathews
and Paul Blasenheim. And for the next hour, we will be discussing intersecting views on the greatest problem of our generation, global climate change. In order to investigate the subject, we have compiled a diverse array of opinions from the Wesleyan faculty, as well as voices from the greater climate justice movement.
How has your life's work impacted your modern climate consciousness? How has this consciousness inspired you to take a stand? How ought we address this looming threat? By asking these questions, we have attempted to illuminate if and how scientific and philosophic fieldwork relate to the pressing need to address the climate issue.
We will begin with background information on many members of Wesleyan's faculty who weighed in on this discussion. We will hear about their role in the Wesleyan community and about the pertinent research performed in their field. We will use this information to understand how their research has informed their current understanding of the climate debate.
My name is Dana Royer. I'm in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences. The work that I do research-wise, a lot of it has to do with climates, principally ancient climates. So what Earth's climate was like millions of years ago. So I don't directly work on present-day and future climate change. We are headed into a warmer future, and if we look at historical records, the last 1,000 years or even the last 10,000 years, the Earth was colder than today. So going into these deep time archives, into the rocks, if you will, things that are millions of years ago, years old, when often the Earth was warmer than today, that gives us little time slices or windows of opportunity in terms of learning about how the Earth operates when it's warmer than today. I'm very much a plant person. The materials, the proxies that I use are plant-based. So I've looked at how leaves can tell us about CO2. So that gives us sort of three important climate variables: CO2, temperature, and rainfall.
I'm Ellen Thomas, and I'm a research scientist, research professor at Wesleyan, and a senior research scientist at Yale in the Department of Geology and Geophysics. So basically, almost all my life I have worked on unicellular organisms, and those unicellular organisms, the ones that I study, live on the bottom of the ocean, and they occur all over the world at all kinds of depths that anyone ever bothered to look, from the deepest trenches to the intertidal zone.
Hi, I'm Barry Chernoff. I'm director of the College of the Environment, and I'm also a professor of environmental studies in the departments of biology and earth and environmental sciences. And I work on biodiversity of South America and now also here in Connecticut, coastal areas of Louisiana, on fish biodiversity and ecology.
I'm Suzanne O'Connell, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences and also the director of service learning. Yeah, my fieldwork is pretty much ocean-based. Mostly I go to sea, take course, and use that to look at climate history. And I'm particularly interested in the high latitudes, so I consider myself bipolar.
Okay, I'm Joop Verrekamp, and I'm professor in Earth and Environmental Sciences here at Wesleyan, and I'm a geochemist by specialty. And my work, on the one hand, has been on carbon dioxide that comes from natural sources, mainly volcanoes, and part of my claim to fame is trying to put numbers on that and look at what the natural background flux of CO2 is to get a better insight in the short carbon cycle, which ultimately rules climate.
I use different things. I use grain size, which can give you an idea about how fast bottom currents are moving. And if you have a strong bottom current, it means most likely that there was a strong thermal gradient. I look at ice-rafted material. That's what I'm involved in right now, looking at some ice-rafted material from Antarctica that got to the middle of the Weddell Sea Basin. And so what we're trying to see is, are there distinct differences in the source area of the sediments that are deposited in the middle of this basin? And from that, if we can identify different source areas, can we then get a better idea about when glaciation occurred on different parts of Antarctica and when did the glaciers disassemble and melt? Years ago, I was on this same cruise. Actually, Ellen Thomas was on it as well, and we recovered the first, what's now known as Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, and there was all kinds of discussion and ideas about what possibly could have happened. Did the ocean run backwards? And how did you get what looked like warmer water below what looked like colder water? So lots of work has been done on that, and one of the things I did was, it got me interested in how you would model something like that. So I spent 2 years working at Goddard Institute for Space Studies, GISS, summers that is, working on a climate model to try to model how you could get an environment like that. So that informs my climate research, and today we have, the GISS model is pretty well known because that's what Jim Hansen has used, and since the mid-'80s he's been saying, pay attention, we're warming up the planet. So it intersects in that way.
And along the way of doing that, I have not shifted focus, but really increased a component having to do with conservation of freshwater fishes, protection of patterns of biodiversity, and in addition, through being concerned about how to protect them, really looking at how to conserve freshwater ecosystems around the world.
I'm very much a plant person. The materials, the proxies that I use are plant-based. So I've looked at how leaves can tell us about CO2. So that gives us sort of three important climate variables: CO2, temperature, and rainfall. As we move into the future, we'll know fairly precisely how much carbon we're putting into the atmosphere, but what that means in terms of temperature is more loose, a little more gray. And so if you know what that, at least in Earth's past, if you know what that relationship has been, then again that can help us hone in on where we may be headed. This is this concept of climate sensitivity, and as much as well as we can tell, we're at the front edge of the next mass extinction.